Okay, let me tell you the story about getting my wisdom teeth taken out. So last month I got 2 of my wisdom teeth taken out. My last 2, I believe. Or I might have 1 more, but I don't know. I had 2 left. 1 at the top on my left side and 1 at the bottom on my right side. So I made an appointment, went into the dental office, thinking that maybe I can get them both taken out at the same time. I went in and they were like, okay, let's go in and do the x-ray, okay? So I got my x-ray and then they were like, okay, this one we can take out today, but this one we're gonna have to do surgery. So we're gonna have to do another day because 2 would be way too traumatizing for you. And I was like, okay. So they were like, great, let's get you some anesthesia and then go sit in the lobby and wait. Okay, so first thing, I feel like my mouth is already swollen and they only did the anesthesia right now. Okay, so we went into this fancy room with an x-ray of like bite this thing and the machine goes around me. As I was waiting, my lovely co-teacher went out to get my medicine for me, the antibiotics or whatever, I don't know. And then afterwards, they brought us into a little room and they were like trying to explain how like to take care of the wound after surgery. Don't smoke, don't use a straw, don't eat hot food, don't do exercise, and like try to clean it, you know, bite on the gauze to stop the bleeding. And I was like, okay. And then they're like, sign the paper. And I signed the papers and then they sat me down on the chair. Oh, and this is the part that I always dread. Sitting down at the chair. It's just like I'm in such a submissive position and my mouth is open, I'm vulnerable, and you're putting tools in my mouth. The thing that I am a little skeptical about Korean healthcare and dental stuff is that it's very different when it comes to sanitary and hygiene stuff. I don't know. It's just, why can't you guys wear masks or gloves? Okay, this is a quick side story, but one time I went to the hospital and they were cleaning this infection that I had on my toe, but they didn't use any gloves. They just went in with their bare hands and I was so disgusted. I was like, why? No! Back on track. So I'm sitting in the chair, okay? They don't wear a mask. And you know, usually when you sit down on a chair and they give you the sunglasses so that when you look into the light, it's not as bad. Yeah, they don't do that. They just put a cloth over your face. And it's like a little opening in the mouth area, okay? So you can't see anything. I'm already in a very vulnerable position and you're not gonna let me see what's going on? So I always hate that part. But luckily, my wisdom tooth up here was already pretty much out of the gum. So she was just like, okay, open your mouth. I thought she was gonna put something in there to keep my mouth open, but she just went right in with the pliers and yanked it out. It literally took 30 seconds for her to yank my tooth out. I was like, ah, like something hurt. And then she's like, are you okay? And I'm like, I think I'm okay. And then she's like, okay, well, we're done. I'm like, huh? Luckily, my top wisdom tooth came out really quick and easy. And it came out in one piece, so I was like, yo, let me keep this. Oh, there's some of my dried gum here. That's kind of gross. Okay, so I was like, oh, let me keep this. I don't know why, because I need the wisdom. Overall, it's very efficient. I went into the office, got my x-ray, and then they talked, and then got my anesthesia, got my antibiotics, went in for a little form signing, and then she yanked it out. And the next thing you know, I'm paying for it. And guess how much it is? For this one that they just yanked out in 30 seconds, it was 12,000 won. That's roughly $12. Compared to hundreds of dollars in Canada, that was amazing. I was like, okay, even if she just yanked it out and I didn't see it, it was fine. Totally worth it. And then they're like, okay, your other tooth, we have to do surgery for it. I figured because it's surgery, it's probably gonna be invasive and traumatizing, and I'm probably gonna be swollen for a while. So I figured, I probably need some days to rest. Luckily, Chuseok was coming up, so I was like, yo, Chuseok, let me just like take those days off. So I booked my appointment to get my tooth taken out right before Chuseok. Okay. Same thing, went in the office, got my anesthesia, got my meds, signed some papers, and then I was in the chair again. Now, because my wisdom tooth right here at the bottom, it was like, this is normal. Mine was like a little tilted, but it wasn't hitting my other tooth because like my teeth are still moving. So it was like this on its own. So I was having a hard time coming out. So we had to do surgery on it. And that means like you gotta cut open your gum, and then she had to smash it in order to take out all the pieces. So when she finished and I looked at my tooth, it was like in a couple pieces, and I was like, great, I hope she took them all out. I don't want to come back. And then she gave me the stitches. They weren't the dissolvable ones, so I had to go back in a week to get them taken out. And when I went to pay, it was 44,000 won. So that's about like $45. Still very affordable compared to dental work done in Canada, even if you have insurance. And then came the saddest 5 days of my life. So Chuseok was 2 days and then the weekend. So I originally had 4 days off, and I thought 4 days was enough to recover. Yeah? No, it wasn't. The first night I took some painkillers because it was very painful. I couldn't sleep. So I got home and I like knocked myself out. Also the anesthesia was like making me really sleepy. So I came home, slept for about 3 hours, woke up, and then I put my trays back on. I just had, I actually didn't want to wake up, but the painkillers weared off, and I started feeling real, it hurts so much. So I woke up, I just took some painkillers, changed my gauze, put my trays back on. It hurts so much, and the painkillers haven't kicked in. You know, I'm not gonna let like the painkillers wear off. I'm just gonna like keep taking it so that they overlap. Usually I can just sleep off the pain, but it was so painful that I couldn't even sleep, and I was crying. But this is and then I woke up the next day and my face was like triple the size on this side. I couldn't eat, I couldn't drink. It was still bleeding quite a bit. It wasn't like spewing blood. If it was, I would have went to the hospital. It was just like so I was like, it's fine, I'll be fine. When I was recovering at home, I had some problems with my gum and my swelling. My face was very swollen. I could barely open my mouth, let alone talk or eat. I kept icing it and also sleeping and eating my meds. But what was very difficult was my gum. So I think where the angle where my wound was is kind of awkward for her to stitch up. Like it felt like there was a little flappy thing or something. So I couldn't really close my mouth because it was very swollen. Okay, so it was like if I tried to bite down, I'd be biting on my cheek and my gums. Okay, so I didn't want to do that. So I kept my mouth open for 5 days. Good thing I didn't have to see anyone. I literally canceled all my plans. I was like, sorry friends, like I can't go anywhere. But what I want to say is my bottom tray was kind of like pinching at my gums, like the last tooth area. It was pinching at my gum and my cheeks when I put them in. And I actually didn't notice it on the first day because it was so swollen and there was blood everywhere and it was dark because I couldn't open my mouth. So I was just put in my tray. I was like, I should be fine, right? Second day, I put like a light in it. I'm like, oh no. So what I ended up doing was I actually cut the last bit of my tray. So I cut like the last tooth, I cut around it. And then I filed it a little so it wouldn't, you know, screw up the inside even more. Okay, so then when I put it in my tray, it actually didn't touch the last bit or the gum or the cheek at all. And that helps the healing a little more, even though it still kept bleeding. So then I was like texting my friend, I was like, what do I do? I can't eat, I'm still bleeding, it hurts. I was literally dying for 5 days. And then she was like, why don't you try like salt water? And I'm like, that is very smart. Why did I not think of that? Why? Why didn't I think of that? Usually, like, when you have something in your mouth, like, you know, salt water is a good disinfectant and, like, it helps with the bleeding and swelling. But I don't know why I didn't think about that until, like, 3 days in. So after I started using the saltwater rinse, it helped significantly. I stopped bleeding and my face was still swollen, but, you know, not that swollen. Like, I could see the inside, the bruising definitely, like, go away. So after the weekend, it was a Monday, and I called my coworker. I was like, I can't come in today. My face is still double the size. I like sent her a picture. She was really worried, and she was like, "Do you need to go to the hospital?" I'm like, "No, I'm fine. Just really swollen." She helped me get Monday and Tuesday off. She was like, "Why don't you go get your stitches out on Tuesday and then rest for that day as well?" I was like, "Okay, I'll try." So Tuesday came, I went out to the dental office again. They took my stitches out. Usually it's about a week, but I mean, I just took it out a day early, whatever, same thing. I had to wear a mask because of how swollen my face was. Like, they were just like, yeah, it's fine. It'll go away soon, you'll be fine. Yeah, I got my first wisdom tooth taken out in 30 seconds and it was $12. Got my second one, which was a very invasive, traumatizing surgery, and I had to take 6 days off because of the swelling, and that was $42. And then they also did disinfectant for each one the day after, and that was $3 each. And this is my wisdom tooth, and now I have no wisdom. Actually, no, I swear, this one's a wisdom tooth. And yeah, look at me, I'm fine now. Yeah. So if you're in Korea and you still have your wisdom teeth, you need to get them taken out. I definitely recommend taking them out in Korea. So much cheaper, so efficient, and they take real good care of you. And you know, you can use your sick days. Sadly, this is probably the last time I'm gonna be filming in this corner because I'm leaving. I'm moving soon. I had to redecorate it because it was so empty. Because I took a lot of the stuff down and packed it already. Yeah, and there's my end flying albums. I have more actually. I just didn't want to put them out. And my light stick that I gotta use at Uhyun's band meeting. And I'll use next weekend when I go to the music. And that's all for this video about getting your wisdom teeth taken out in Korea. So yeah, please subscribe, like, and I'll see you in Canada. Maybe. I've been saying goodbye to my kids lately, and like I'm trying so hard to not cry because I know if I cry, everyone will cry, and I don't want that. I don't want to be crying all week, so don't cry. Actually, it's really funny because some of my kids are like, "Oh, teacher, you're going to Canada? Can I come?" And I'm like, "You want to come to Canada with me? Okay, you pack your bags." And then they're like, "Kajima, Kajima." Like they were chanting it, and I was like, oh my god, I'm gonna cry. So I like ran out of the classroom. But yesterday, one of my classes, when I told them, they were like, "Teacher, can we give you a hug?" And so they all lined up and they all gave me a hug. And then I cried so hard, I like ran out of the classroom. I was like, okay, bye. Oh, it was awful. I hate saying goodbye. Anyway, I gotta go back to packing and I actually have to go to Busan right now, so bye!